Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Good to see you both.
What's going on?
Yeah.
We have a good morning for you. We're going to start off some breaking news, basically talking briefly about something I'm sure you're seeing everywhere right now. New York Attorney General Letitia James announced today she is suing Donald Trump for numerous acts of fraud. She's accusing him of inflating property prices for billions of dollars and then lowballing property values on his taxes. The suit is also naming members of Trump's family, including his daughter Ivanka and his two sons, Eric and Don Jr. So let me back up and explain. This suit comes after a 3-year investigation into Trump's business practices. So what do you think of this big development? She is suing for $250 million, saying it was over a 15-year tax fraud scheme, and their CFO is testifying against them.
Is that bad?
It seems bad. It seems like that's bad.
Yeah, I don't think that's good, Lindsay. Yeah, I read and it said, because I was wondering, like, when they said fraud, like, what is the extent? And they had an example in there where they said that he sold his Trump Tower apartments for $327 million, and he was telling people that the apartment square footage was over 30,000, and most of them was 11,000.
It was almost 3 times the size.
So it does appear that something nefarious is taking place, and 3 years with the state's attorney general office looking into you every day. I don't know, buddy.
It's kind of like, it reminds me of the reality shows that we watch when, you know, they have all this undercover illegal businesses going on and then the reality star ends up in jail. It's happened multiple times. It's kind of like when he ran for president, he opened himself up to all this scrutiny and stuff. And it's like, that might have been like the worst decision you possibly could make as somebody who's been going along their career pretty much untouched with all the things that we knew as researchers and journalists, what was going on with his finances. No one else really knew. They saw him on the TV show. We're like, okay, you know, he's rich.
Big rich guy. Right.
So now, you know, this is just like the worst case scenario, just keeps piling on. I know this is way older than a lot of the newer cases, even the January 6th committee, but the results of all that looking into President Trump or former President Trump is getting really crazy. He has like a lot to deal with.
Yeah, a lot on his plate. Do either of you feel, because the state's attorney general is Democrat, that this is a political maneuver, or do you feel good that the 3 years that she's focused on this has some backbone?
Well, New York has a really intense crime rate right now and a lot of things going on that I would think that I would want everyone to be focused on, everyone in power in the state, because it's reminding people of like the 90s New York where they're scared to get on the subway. We've talked about some of the incidents. And so, you know, there are a lot of things that people want to focus on, including the economy and what's going on with their Fed rates about to rise again today.
Right.
I think a lot of people want to know about that more importantly. But I mean, this is something that they decided to put all their energy into, and so there needed to be some kind of result, because people were like, what is this money being spent on for looking into President Trump for like the 15th time? Yeah,
exactly. And apparently attaining loans, insurance, and tax benefits all throughout. This is a civil case, just so you guys know, but she is giving it to the attorney general and seeing if they do want to go and make this a criminal case. So we will follow up on this. It has legs, certainly. Write us in if you think, whatever you think, we'd love to hear from you. More women are coming forward accusing Adam Levine of sending them inappropriate texts. Not a good day for Adam.
No.
Huh? Adam has been accused of cheating and sending flirty messages to an Instagram model. Now, he admitted to using poor judgment and crossing a line, but denied having an affair. Excuse me. Meantime, 2 other women claim Adam sent them flirty messages. When one called him out for being married, Adam allegedly told her it was a bit complicated. Adam and his pregnant wife, Beate Prinsloo, were spotted together picking up their children from school, but some stars are speaking out about the scandal. Selling Sunset's Chriselle Staus took issue with Adam, saying that he and his wife will, quote, get through it together. She tweeted, when apologizing for cheating publicly, I hate the we will get through it together part from a man. Don't speak for her. You've done enough. And model Emily Ratajkowski blasted people online, blaming the other woman for Adam's alleged cheating. Watch.
I don't understand why we continue to blame women for men's mistakes, especially when you're talking about 20-something-year-old women dealing with men in positions of power who are twice their age. The power dynamic is so skewed, it's ridiculous. If you're the one in a relationship, you're the one who's obligated to be loyal. So the whole other woman, like, they're to blame, that's bad, and it's literally designed to keep women apart.
How do you feel about that, O?
I think she hit it on the head. I think that that's the way that, for somebody that has been caught doing something such as this, the best case scenario is for the two women to start arguing, because that completely removes you from the situation and now kind of makes you a bystander when you were really the catalyst for this chemical reaction that we're now all dealing with. When you talk about somebody like Adam Levine, not only does it seem like somebody, I wouldn't even say, I think Lindsay, we always go, oh, well, they might have a problem. I just don't think that he felt like he had any boundaries, and there's probably a reason he felt like that, because he really kind of didn't. And he didn't up until he did, and then the floodgates opened.
What do you think, Linz? Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about that yesterday, about somebody being 19. I know they're of age to be in that relationship, but somebody who's a famous person that's 20 years your senior, it does create a power dynamic. But I also think that at 19, when I think about that age, I was mature enough to know that that's not the type of relationship that I would want to be in with somebody who's married.
Right.
I knew that crystal clear at 18 probably. So like, why, we can't take away all the responsibility from her. I'm not saying that these two women need to argue. They don't even need to communicate, because the only person that signed an agreement and decided to be loyal was Adam Levine to his wife. So she needs to take that up with him. But also everybody jumping in about, especially like the woman from Selling Sunset, she's probably jumping in because she also was publicly embarrassed by, well, not embarrassed, left, and she said she found out when he made the announcement to the world. Her husband is the man from This Is Us, Justin.
So she was hurt as well. She was
Justin
sort of
Hartley.
Yeah.
Right, so she was blindsided. So she's kind of projecting. She doesn't know. Who knows if these people have an open relationship? Who knows if she already knew that he was cheating? Who knows if they already decided we're going to move forward as a unit? She doesn't even know what's going on in their household, but she really is projecting by saying, this is not something that you need to be doing, Adam Levine. Like, you don't know what's going on in their house.
Yeah, to me, she jumped on the bandwagon to get a little publicity, a little bit,
and that's
to be
what we're
honest.
going to start to see happen. It's like more and more of these things coming out. It reminds me of what happened with the comedian Chris.
Hardwick?
No. The other Chris.
Oh.
With the long hair, good-looking guy.
Oh, Chris D'Elia. D'Elia.
D'Elia, yes.
Yes.
You can't get names together today.
Because there's so many.
I did Montreal with him. I should have known that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this about this, because I didn't know this, and I want to get your fresh reactions. Adam and Beate have been married since 2014, okay? They're expecting their third child. In 2009, Adam told Cosmopolitan, if you didn't know.
Thank you.
That he had cheated
what
in
other Cosmo would it be?
A drink.
A drink?
A drink.
He told us drink.
That he had cheated in the past relationship, and when asked when men cheat, he said this, quote, and let me know what you think about this too. Instinctively, monogamy is not in our genetic makeup. People cheat. I have cheated. And you know what? There's nothing worse than the feeling of doing it. I would think the person on the other side has it worse. But what do you think about this sort of monogamous? He clearly has an issue with monogamy.
I think you got to go through life and you got to decide what you want to do. Do you want to be single? Do you want to be in an open relationship? My issue is the not discussing what the situation is.
Like
so
no
leading
borders,
people
boundaries,
on
right.
and not telling them what they're in. So if you saying I'm going to marry you and this is what I want to do and I want to be committed for life and then making other arrangements as you move forward through your life, that's trash. Like some people will actually agree to an open relationship and maybe not even getting married or whatever they want to do with you. So telling them a lie just to get what you want in that moment is kind of ridiculous in this day and age when people are actually open to having real conversations about what they want to do with their lives.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're into having half real conversations because he was down with having an open relationship on his side. A lot of people, when they...
But people would be with a celebrity and say, cool, open relationship. A lot of people would.
But people, that's still a difficult conversation, and it seems like for somebody that, you were speaking about the power dynamic, somebody that is used to always having 100% of that power, they're not about to discuss with Lindsay, the model, about what we're about to do. Here's what I'm going to do. And then that's what will be done. And that's a different conversation than you and your partner Colin or you and your partner would have. So it's I just think he's used to having everything his way, and that whole like men cheat and monogamy is not real. What you doing married with 3 kids?
Right,
then, bro?
exactly. Then don't make that choice, right?
And I also think people just are with who they want to be with. I don't think that there's more men cheating than women cheating, to be honest. I think that women are just not as stupid as guys. But no, for real.
No.
And guys always get caught, and I really think that people need to decide who they want to be with in this life, and for reasons other than maybe just only aesthetics or maybe only financials or whatever it is, make sure that the reasons that you choose are real reasons, and then you won't have the issue of trying to find somebody else to complete you. Because you need to go in that thing whole and decide how you guys are going to pour over to each other's overfilled cups.
Right.
Can
not
I ask
like
you guys a
halfway
quick
empty.
real question?
Yeah.
What percentage of women cheat?
I don't know.
Look
I have
at
no
you.
idea.
You should be doing
But
an interview in Cosmo.
No, I'm saying, like, I know that a lot of, like, over the years, like, a lot of women have cheated, a lot of men have cheated. I have guy and women friends, and I know that the equal amount.
What?
It wasn't, like, overwhelmingly
Wow, it's equal.
split.
Well, I think-
I'm just asking as a man. I'm just curious.
I do think perhaps this was a little sloppy. If you're going to DM, perhaps use a payphone wanting to
payphone?
call home.
What year?
It's an
did
Adam
you say?
Levine song.
No, that's not gonna. A payphone? How old is?
I never even
saying
heard that
don't
song.
DM,
You got to
like-
pick a popular song that the audience at least knows.
Payphone?
I know what you're talking about.
All right.
You got one.
Coming up on DBL, our interview with the fabulous Cheryl Lee Ralph. She tells us what she was feeling during that iconic Emmys win. And don't do this at home. A new social media trend has people, yes, cooking chicken in Nyquil. We'll explain next. Come on, people.
Closed captioning provided by
Poshmark.
Hey, just stopping by to say we're taking over. We're made of this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
Who's going to own up to it?
It's 20%.
Yeah.
So our boss was telling us that according to statistics, what were the numbers?
20%
of men cheat and 13% of women cheat.
Right, and that's according to people who owned up to it and answered the email that they got about did you cheat on your husband?
Yeah, I think men are very naive about.
They're just bad at it.
Well,
No, about you're saying about a woman cheating. They don't
yeah,
think
they're
that they're
just
going
like,
to do.
well,
They don't
she's
think.
not going anywhere. I'm me. There's an arrogance to men that I think leaves them.
And that probably is the
open.
case in a lot of relationships.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like that crazy. Like, this is not 1910.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That a woman is in the house only, you know exactly her whereabouts.
And
like,
your woman is on Instagram too. And if you're neglecting her and you're not telling,
as easy as it was to say for you to send a message, she can do the same thing. So why don't you just be in a trusting relationship if that's what she would like?
Right. Do you think you're the only attractive man? And
Oh, that's
what about
good.
this? What if an attractive man starts to respond to her and fill the gaps that you're leaving? You're not telling your partner, Lindsay, you look great today. You're not telling, hey, thanks for dinner. Or, hey.
But I
you're not
also
gonna
don't like that
book
whole
vacation.
mind reader thing. Like, people don't know if you want, like, sometimes I'm like, Colin, do you like my outfit? Right? Because you need to let people know that you want to do certain things. I don't think anybody should just read your mind. That's where a
Right.
lot of errors come to me.
Yeah.
When you just expect you, like, you couldn't tell that this face means that I wanted you to do this. That's like where you go all the way left.
It's
for me.
communication, and it's so important. And it's, I think for a long time, people just said, you know, well, dad gets home and he has a drink and he goes to the basement and watches sports, and mom stays upstairs. And like, you guys are not communicating. Look at that catch.
Nice.
You guys are not communicating, and because of that, you have, like, again, these communication gaps where, like, you don't know that she wants you to tell her she's pretty, or that she doesn't like when you tell her she's pretty. It's like you got to talk about it.
Welcome back. The FDA is out with another warning about a dangerous social media challenge. So if your parents or grandparents, take a listen. This one is called the Nyquil Sleepy Chicken Challenge. Okay, the FDA is telling Americans
Rolls off the tongue.
not to cook chicken in Nyquil for any other over-the-counter medications. They say it's dangerous and very unsafe, not only to eat the chicken, but also just to inhale the medication's vapors. This isn't the first FDA warning about dangerous social media trends. Who could forget all the warnings about the Tide Pod challenge? So the question is, why are kids so tempted by these dangerous challenges, and what can be done to prevent them from catching on? Nyquil chicken. You both have children. How do you feel?
Well, I specifically get worried about this because my stepdaughter Michaela is 11, and then my niece is also 11, and they hang out all the time, and they love TikTok.
Yeah.
And so they will see something that happens online and be like, oh, you know, that's funny. Or I even did the Takis challenge with them, which is really hot, and I hate Takis,
I
but
did
it was
that
like,
with
What's a
my daughter,
Taki?
yes.
What's a
a Takis is a really spicy potato chip,
It's
basically.
a bootleg Cheeto.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. It was
okay.
a very spicy Cheeto looking
Got
thing.
it.
And my mouth was falling off, and they were laughing because they like this snack. I
Yes.
hate it. So that's the thing. There's some that are just like silly and fun and like, oh, it burns your mouth. But then there are the other that like scratch your esophagus. And then could potentially kill you because you're drinking NyQuil. So that's the thing that scares me when things go too far. And Al always talks about people dying for likes.
Yeah, you have a podcast.
Yes, and Sam and I actually covered a story that we're going to get to in a minute. But this is what we talk about on the podcast, Dying for Likes, is that, you know, parents, we do have access to our children. You can tell your daughter, you know, Kinsley, don't do this. And you've said it, and then you do whatever you're doing. But she's watching TikTok 6 hours a day, every day. Who's talking to your kid more, you or their favorite YouTube celebrity? And it's very hard because we can't be with them all the time. And it used to be like, well, Lynn's outside playing and interacting with 4 kids that I know. But if Tori's upstairs with her iPad, how many people has she interacted with in an evening? All over the world, grown men, creepy dude. You know, it's like, it's really terrifying. And these people have your kid's ear however many more minutes more than you do when you were just like that one time, hey, don't do that, it's silly. And they're like, okay, Mom, I'm gonna be upstairs.
And I was just saying, I was just thinking about this morning, like, am I gonna let Kinsley get on social media? Because my initial response is like, no, maybe when you're 18, because there's so much trash out there. And
when she's 18.
Well, because Kelly sent an email this morning. Every morning she sends all the news stories all over the world. And so one of them said that 2 out of 3 kids are depressed or something along those lines. There's a new study out. And so to me, I directly relate that to what's happening on social media, the comparison. Adults can barely handle that. And so on top of that, these trends, there's so much negativity on social media that I know how to navigate personally, right? But a kid might not do the same with it. And so I worry about her and what that looks like in 15 years, in 10 years, when she's super active on the app. That will terrify me unless I can have some kind of control over it.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I'm someone that did not have self-validation. I didn't. I really didn't. And I always wanted to be accepted. And I'm very open about that. And if there was a challenge, that's what makes it so kid-friendly. The dare. I'll dare you to do it. And then you're accepted into it. It's very manipulative. It's very, I know it's stupid and it sounds dumb, but kids want to be accepted. And this is why they're doing it. So
and also they want those views.
And they want the views.
I'm sure they're looking at these videos we would look at and be like, who would ever do this? But underneath it, 247
self-validation.
likes,
That's right.
you know, 200 million likes, and it's like, what if that was me? What if that was a 13-year-old Tori? 13-year-old Al, that's like, I was nothing. I was not a finished product yet. The idea of me getting 100,000 likes or views on something would have probably been worth me doing whatever.
I know, but then the endorphins that you get from getting that and then not getting it again for the next 45 videos that you post is terrible for kids.
It's not good for anyone. It's a dopamine rush that doesn't help. So if you were a parent or grandparent, know about this challenge and make sure you give your kids some help finding their own self-validation. That is really important. Coming up on DBL, our interview with recent Emmys winner Cheryl Lee Ralph. What does she think about both Oprah and Queen Bey sending her flowers?
It's the latest trend going around social media, people cooking their chicken in cough or cold medicine. Videos on TikTok show people doing it. They're calling it sleepy chicken or Nyquil chicken. So is it safe to cook chicken with Nyquil? Let's verify.
Now, I consider myself a good cook and can tell you this isn't a good idea, but we went to the experts to get you answers.
Our sources, family physician Dr. Carla Robinson and the Mayo Clinic.
These cold medications have many ingredients mixed in there, and so it's really hard to say what happens to the chemical composition of these medications once they are boiled.
One of these 3 active ingredients in NyQuil is a sedating antihistamine. According to the Mayo Clinic, that can cause drowsiness. Dr. Robinson says boiling the medication makes it more concentrated, which could be harmful to you.
The thought is that if you are boiling the medication, that you could potentially boil away the water contents or the liquefying contents that help to dilute the medication.
Dr. Robinson says you should always be using medicine as it's stated on the label or how your doctor tells you to.
There are guidelines as to how medication is supposed to be used, and anytime you alter that, you run the risk of either being exposed to higher than expected levels of the medication or maybe even rendering the medication ineffective.
Dr. Robinson also wants to remind you that you should not be getting medical advice from the internet.
These trends on TikTok are not proven to be safe. They are not proven therapies for sickness, for a replacement for medication or anything like that.
So we can verify that no, it is not safe to cook chicken or any other food for that matter with NyQuil or any other cold or cough medicine.
With your Verify, I'm Megan Trent.
Welcome back to DBL. Cheryl Lee Ralph is a Tony-nominated dream girl and now an Emmy Award-winning actor starring in the hit show Abbott Elementary. Season 2 premieres tonight, and since she's such a good friend of the show off, earlier she made time for us to celebrate her big Emmy win. Take a look. Cheryl!
Cheryl, we were all screaming for you on our couches when you won your iconic Emmy. We are so proud of you. It is so well deserved. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, I am so happy to be here with you all because I tell you the truth, it's like being with my media family. When there were times when I thought, okay, what am I going to do? There was always you all to talk with, and we made such great magic together. I could not miss celebrating with you all.
How did you prepare for that moving Emmy speech?
I am a woman, I am an artist, and I know
You know, it's so weird because every time I talk about it, it's like I'm on the verge of tears. Sure. But there is no preparation for a moment like that. I've been rehearsing an acceptance speech since I was 5 years old.
Amen, Miss Cheryl. And then we all watched your children.
I know.
Mommy, that's my mommy.
That's what
my
got me.
mommy.
That's what
and
got
Al,
me.
that is what got most of us. How did you and your family celebrate after your win? Was there tequila?
No. We were very quiet because I had to go to work the very next day.
I wanted to know, how did you end up landing the Emmy Award-winning role of one of my favorite characters in a long time, teacher Barbara Howard? No nonsense.
You know what? I got a phone call from Quinta Brunson saying to me, Miss Ralph, I know people offer you stuff, but if you could just meet us and talk with the people connected to this would be great for all of us because we need a queen, and you are that queen.
Yeah. Abbott Elementary, that was the only network show that got those kinds of nominations.
It's the best one. It's the best one.
Yes, you must be so proud. Okay, so a lot of stars sent you flowers, including Oprah and Beyonce. Yeah. What surprised you most about all of the stars that reached out to you? You're inspiring everybody.
You know, when I was younger, there was an acceptance speech by an actress that I really loved, and her name was Sally Field. And she said, you like me. You really like me. And as a kid, I didn't get that. But I was so happy that my social currency was so deep, and I was able to see it come through my door, literally and figuratively. I had no idea that some floral arrangements could be so amazing. You see Beyonce's flowers right there? Those flowers refuse to die. They're just living and beautiful and fresh like they came in 4 days ago. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Well, we are so happy for you, and I think everyone is because it's just so well deserved. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Attention Military.
The rates of violent crime against LGBTQ+ people are significantly higher than those who identify as straight, according to data from the National Crime Victimization Survey collected between 2017 and 2020. Two high-profile cases involving LGBTQ victims include the 2015 murder of Daniel Spencer, a gay man in Austin, Texas, and Nikki Kuhnhausen, a trans teen who was killed in Washington state in 2019. In those cases, the gay trans panic defense was used. It focuses on the victim's sexual identity or orientation as an excuse for the crime. A tweet with hundreds of shares claims that the gay trans panic defense isn't banned in the overwhelming majority of states. So let's verify. Is the gay trans panic defense legal in a majority of states? Our sources are the LGBTQ+ Bar, an association of lawyers and activists advocating for LGBTQ+ rights, the American Bar Association, Dr. W. Cardston Anderson, St. Edward's University criminal justice professor, and Paul Smith, professor at Georgetown University School of Law. Let's start by clearing up some terminology. The LGBTQ+ bar refers to the gay trans panic defense as the LGBTQ+ panic defense, When used as a standalone legal strategy, the LGBTQ+ panic defense argues that a victim's sexual orientation or gender identity or expression is to blame for a defendant's violent criminal action, including murder.
That's not by itself something that the law says you're allowed to do.
That's because committing a crime against a person because of their sexual orientation or identity is considered a hate crime. But what defense attorneys in some states can do is use a different defense. For example, provocation or self-defense, and argue that the victim's gender identity or sexual orientation is a reason why their client committed the crime. This is how the LGBTQ+ panic defense is primarily used in court. Criminal justice professor Dr. W. Cardston Anderson has studied LGBTQ+ panic defenses for nearly 20 years.
Provocation is this idea that somehow it's so threatening, so embarrassing, so humiliating, so dishonorable to have somebody make a pass at you that you kill them. And then self-defense plays to these tropes that gay or trans individuals are somehow more dangerous than everybody else.
When used successfully in court, the LGBTQ+ bar says this legal strategy can get a murder charge reduced to manslaughter or justified homicide.
What they're really trying to do is come up with a reason or an excuse to focus on the fact that this was a gay victim or a trans victim and appeal in that way to the homophobia or transphobia of the jury.
In 2013, the American Bar Association called on federal, state, and local governments to prohibit the use of this defense. Since then, 15 states and Washington, D.C. have banned the LGBTQ+ defense, but it is still allowed at the federal level. So we can verify, yes, the LGBTQ+ panic defense is still legal in a majority of states and in federal cases. In 2021, a bill to ban the defense nationwide was introduced in the House and the Senate, but the bill was never voted on. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back. Fall is in the air, and to protect your vehicle, you're going to want to prepare it for the cold weather. That's today's Auto Alert, sponsored by good old Ox Car Care. So after checking the obvious, like your oil, your fluid, your levels, your tire, tread, and brakes, you're going to want to make sure you stock your car with gloves, a blanket, an ice scraper, first aid kit, jumper cables, and a flashlight. In an emergency, you do not want to be stranded without them. Ox Car Care is dedicated to providing you with an amazing auto protection plan experience that works with your budget. If you're looking for better car care, give them a call at 1-800-690-7547. I also want to get to this. Big Ted on Twitter says, Payphone is one of Maroon 5's best songs, and I'm not a huge fan of Adam. Your fellow hosts are just pop musically challenged.
Okay, Big Ted, coming at our next.
I'm just saying, like, everyone on that side of the room, I'm on a payphone wanting to call.
He told you yesterday, Adam Levine, black people. We're trying our best.
Okay, that's fair. We'll see you tomorrow.
This was a post that's in the Nextdoor app. A woman wrote, I am so tempted to buy some speed bumps from Amazon and put them in Berwick Commons Parkway. People fly down this road and it makes me so angry. So the question, can you put your own speed bumps on a public road? Let's verify. Our sources, the City of Charlotte, the Department of Transportation, and attorney